Hi, welcome, I'm Hannah, and I wanted to talk about some new Terra Moon shadows today. I know that I filmed a while ago my Terra Moons collection, and then I filmed a video I swatching an expansion they had a couple months ago, and I've been really behind on uploading things. Hopefully I'm less behind on uploading this one, but because of that I know we're kind of going through a Terra Moons kind of moment on my channel, but I think they're worth it. So I think you'll understand. When I got these new ones, I wasn't even originally thinking I was going to make a video about it, so I've been using them, which usually I don't do if I'm going to do a swatching video, but I think it's kind of fun to have some more thoughts about them already, so I can share them with you. So I don't know if there was a name for this recent collection. Let me see if their Instagram says anything. Yeah, I'm just seeing our shades available for launch. Oh, Fall Equinox. Okay, cool. Yeah, it was 12 new shadows that launched. I bought 5 of them. They launched in September. It was on pre-order. I got mine about a week ago. It's the end of October right now, and I'm really excited. I'm gonna start with one that I think is going to be one of my top shadows ever. I think these shadows are so good, and I think that every launch Terra Moons has, their quality gets better and better. This first one I'm going to share with you. I feel like it's the shiftiest shadow that I have. It's the shadow that I put it right on and immediately in the mirror I can see different colors. I see when I turn my head immediately all these different colors, and I feel like shifts aren't usually so obvious. It's you kind of forget about them and then you're like, oh hey, that's cool. This one, so obvious. I love it. Let me zoom you in so I can show you. Welcome to my face. So the shadow that I'm hyping up right now, it's called the Cosmos. This wasn't even one that I was originally gonna get. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm so happy that I did because it's nuts. It's kind of one of those thick shadow feelings, which I tend to like. I want something that's actually substantially on my lid. Sometimes I can get use out of the kind of more sheer ones that are kind of a wash over your lid, but I love these kind of full pigment shadows that if I do a little matte setup, it'll cover the edges of the mattes and stuff and not just kind of sheer over them. And as usual, I don't have anything on my lids for this. It's so beautiful. So there's the Cosmos. I think sometimes the bright lights when I'm filming do kind of hinder the flips a little bit, but I think you could definitely see all of the pink in that. Let me turn down this light a little bit and add my flashlight. And you can see on top of that how sparkly it is. That's really cool. I just really like the shadow. I didn't know it was going to blow my mind as much as it did. I think it's amazing. Let me tell you a little bit more about it from the website. It was $17, but you can use codes on this. I think I always use Amy Loves, which is Amy Loves Makeup's code. They recommend using it with a glitter primer or setting spray, but I usually just go in with my finger for this type of shade, and it works out very well for me. It's described as an extreme multichrome shade that has a large mica particle size. It shifts light blue, lavender, green, and gold. So it doesn't even mention that pink or that reddish coralish shade that's right in there. Oh, it's so beautiful. So I think this one is a big standout for me. Actually looking at them now, there is one that I haven't used yet. So let's just do that one now. I was thinking that some of the shades I was getting were all gonna look green, and I think they are kind of greeny leaning, but that's fine. This one's Cosmic Dancer. This one I'm actually excited about because I was watching Bad to the Brows review on the Danessa Myricks palette, which I talked myself out of. I actually might make a video about that. I could have done that today. But she compared this to one of the shades that's in the palette, and I was like, wow, that looks beautiful. That's the kind of shade I'm looking for right now. I love this grungy brownie green at the moment. There's a couple Cleona shades that I'm meaning to pick up that kind of embody that for me at their next restock. I think Azure and Shard coming soon to a face near you, but this might be just like it, so let's see how it goes. This one feels, ooh, nice and thick on my finger. Oh my god. Wow, that's like everything I want in life. Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright, formula-wise, this one feels even more foily than this one, and I love the foily. But like with the ultra sparkly, ultra reflective. Oh my god, I can't believe this is like the one that I didn't pick up, because I'm already thinking that out of the three that I have that are kind of similar, I think this is the best one out of them. Wow, that's so gorgeous. Let me try the dimming lights flashlight approach again. I definitely see like the brown and like a turquoise in there. I love this shade. I think this is gonna be one of my favorite shades ever also. Wow. So this one was also $17. It's described as a gray-based multichrome with shifts blue, green, and purple. Also, they recommend using like a glitter primer or setting spray. Wow. I love that they're doing these gray-based multichromes because I feel like in comparison to my black-based multichromes from Cliona, I don't get a lot of use out of those because usually I don't have my entire eye being black enough to like blend it in, and then it just ends up being like very harsh on my lid, or I have to do like a much deeper crease than I expected. But I feel like this tone is just so perfect. It's so bold, but it seems like it's going to be really easy for me to work with. This is a liner. That would be really cool, like a wing out of it, and maybe even like extend it underneath. That might be in my future. I'm obsessed. I thought this was going to be my absolute favorite of the whole collection, and I think she just got beat, but I love them both. Okay, let me wipe these off, and then I have a couple more for you. Okay, so next up we have the shade Space Case. This is the brightest shade of the ones that I picked up. This one I used and I thought it was nice, but it is funny because I'm kind of working out of this like custom palette right now. Let me show you. It was my birthday last week and I was like, I want to make a cute little palette, so I made pretty much this palette here. It's surrounded by my ColourPop shadows. And then I got the Terra Moon shadows in the mail, so I expanded it to encompass the Terra Moon shadows. But I already had Divina Orion in here, so Space Case looks so similar next to it, even though Orion's more of like a standard shimmer, and Space Case is like a multi-chrome, or at least duochrome. I'll see what the website says. But I feel like because of that in this palette, it hasn't had its moment yet, you know? And I think the time that I did use Space Case, I topped it with Orion to make it like a little brighter. Yeah, I can already tell on my finger that it's less thick than those first two, but I mean, still really, really beautiful. And this looks thick on my eye. Wow, that's beautiful. I feel like this is similar to Orion in the brightness, but this manages to have like grunginess to it while still being bright, and I think that makes it so special. Huh. This one, the website says it's a gray-based multi-chrome. It shifts yellow, green, blue, and has hints of purple. Oh, I see that blue there in the light. I'm using my phone flashlight right now. Alright, that's really pretty. I think I need to have it not next to Orion in a palette, but it's really pretty. The next one that I got is M51. This one looks green in the pan, but I know this one to be, I think, the grungiest of the bunch. When I say grungy, I feel like I'm just talking about this like teetering brown, greenish, bluish, almost reddish. I hope you know what I mean. But I think this one really encompasses that for me. And I think this was the one that I was most excited about before getting it. You know, a bunch of these shades are similar. I don't think that someone needs all of them in this case. I mean, of course, you don't need anything, but I think if you were looking to get the essence of this collection, you don't need to get all these kind of similar shades. You can choose the one that's best for you. Yeah, I think this one has more brown to it. It's funny though, I feel like if I was in a picture right now, you would think the light source is just like to that direction of me and I'm wearing the same eyeshadow. Because the reflex in these looks so similar, it just, this one has more prevalence to the brown in it. Let's see what our trusty site says. The website says this is a gray-based multichrome. It shifts green, purple, red, and has hints of blue. I kind of feel like I just don't know what to make of this one as much. I'm gonna swatch them next to each other on my hand also after this. And I think I'll get use out of this. It just kind of throwing me off by being like so like the same but different as this other one. Yeah, so that is M51. I also want to note before I take this off that I just was looking at myself in my other mirror in less direct light, and this one looks way more like subtle bluish over brown. I don't see this green when it's not in this intense direct light. They look really different from over there. So just for some food for thought. This final one I have is Veil Nebula. So this one's described on the website as a plum, maroon, blue, and green chameleon shade. So this one's not a multi-chrome by their standards, and this was $13. This one I want to say feels less thick on my finger too, and maybe it's because it's not the multi-chrome. It still looks like a beautiful, multi-dimensional, almost brown, but like purpley, goldy shade also. Yeah, this one does feel different. It doesn't feel sheer, but it doesn't feel as thick and foiled as those other ones, but it's still so sparkly and so beautiful. This is the kind of shade though that I'm like, I don't know why I buy this, because it's just not very often that I reach for like a deeper neutral look. But man, the way that shimmers, that's really pretty. I guess I'm gonna try to make a makeup look around this and I'll come back to give you swatches and more thoughts. Okay, so I finished my makeup, as you can see. I just added a couple mattes into my crease. I popped UV from Cleona on my inner corner, and I'm wearing this e.l.f. lipstick that I just put away on my lips. I do really like the shadow, but I can see that it doesn't have as many flips as the other colors, but it has such a pretty reflect that it does look different at different angles and in different lights. So I want to do a ranking of these 5 shades, and I'll do swatches on my hand. There's not really going to be much mystery. I feel like you can figure out from my eye swatches which ones I like the best, but we'll do it anyway. It's fun to talk about. So number 1 is a really close match, but just based on how I'm feeling right now, I'm gonna give it to our newcomer, the one that I didn't try until today, which is Cosmic Dancer. I was just so impressed. I thought this was so incredible. It's what I want in this like grungy, reflective, multichrome eyeshadow, and I'm so excited. I think I'm gonna get a lot of use out of this. Please ignore my cat scratches. We'll start under those. Gorgeous. My second one, the Cosmos, really close match between that and Cosmic Dancer. Was that the first one? I think so. Really kind of unexpected shade, such visible flips. I love the feel and the formula of it. And I feel like I can't even like pinpoint what it looks like because it looks so kind of cool now. And I feel like other times it looks warm. It really plays off of which mattes I have on my eye with it. Really nice. Number 3, we're gonna say Space Case. This was the brighter of the grungy greens. Again, I really like the feel and the formula. I'm excited to see these next to some of the other ones. Yeah, way brighter. This one looks just blue in comparison. The final 2, also a bit of a toss-up, but I'm going to have to give the number 4 spot to M51. I feel like this one has the most potential to move its ranking once I start using it more, because I'm very intrigued by the shade, and it might be exactly what I want. I just don't know. I just don't know yet. I really like that blue that I saw when I wasn't in direct light, but I just don't know what it is because it looked so green on camera. These are some crooked swatches. Yeah, it looks very similar. But even looking at it here, I just see purple. Oh, that's interesting. I wish I could show you, but from my angle, this first one Space Case looks like green and purple. This most recent one, M51, looks like pink and purple and brown. Let me see if I can take a picture of that. That's really interesting. And number 5, still beautiful and wonderful, but we're gonna give that to Veil Nebula. Just because this one, A, isn't a multi-chrome, and I love me a good multi-chrome, but also it is just like a darker shade, and I don't tend to use darker, more neutral shades very often, but it's still beautiful. It's really incredibly beautiful. It's an interesting neutral. I just know I'm not going to get as much use out of it as I will these other 4. And that's all of them. And that's everything. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It really means a lot to me, and there's a lot more indie makeup content on the way. And that's everything. Bye.